The STEM Society.
What's poppin', people? My name is Cole Jackson. This is the STEM Society. Welcome back. Today on the docket, I wanted to just get into how we're getting low quality music starting the second half of the year off. Like we're not getting quality and people are making excuses for it. There has been a topic of conversation around the Rick Ross album and the first week sales. Now, for those who don't know, Rick Ross came out with the newest album, Set in Stone, and his first week numbers were not the best. I don't care about the numbers. I've never been a numbers guy. I always want to listen to the quality of the music to see what the artist is talking about, and maybe it'll be one of those things where it'll be a cult classic. So I'll go ahead and hit play on this album. And let me tell you, this is some of the most laziest rapping I've heard Rick Ross do in a very long time. And he uses 90% of the album has features, which means that he has crutches throughout the whole thing. And it just doesn't feel inspired, or it doesn't feel like Rick Ross is actually putting his all into this. Now, for a lot of people who are on these major platforms, they look at it from a different point of view. Here recently on the Joe Budden podcast, they had their observation of why people are talking about the newest Rick Ross album.
We were talking about Ross stopping by here. There's a lot of talk going on about whatever he sold on his album.
What he
I
sold?
don't know what he sold.
2,000?
I don't know if that was.
I don't know if that's.
I don't know.
That doesn't sound realistic. But
Look,
Was Ross ever the type of artist, though, where it was like big numbers? You always thought Ross is somebody who is more like he continues
Long game,
throughout.
yeah.
Elongated. He plays the long game. Yes, I'm gonna put this out. I'm gonna do my
26,000.
car show. I'm gonna do
26?
in this
that's a big
climate. To me,
difference.
that's
No. The projection said under 26. They don't have the exact number.
That's
But
very
still.
different from 2000.
Right,
To me, where he is now, just it's hard to keep people's attention span.
Yeah.
How social media and everything else. He's doing fine to me.
And he got a lot of other shit going
Yeah,
on.
when you diversifying and you not
Your
having all your eggs in that
portfolio, but
basket, yeah.
It's
And
going to
he's
work out.
independent.
He's going to get a lot of bookings and things to perform this. He's going to get a tour off of this.
He's got
And again, and it goes back.
single,
And this also
The
goes
songs
back.
will be used for licensing, just knowing
Right.
him, and he will absolutely be okay. That car
sure.
show will keep going.
Of course,
And
and this also goes back to that pick a side culture again. The new shit that's like diehard dividing hip hop. Outside of the 50 beef, again, Ross was on the opposite side of Drake. So everything that anybody who stood on the other side of Drake does, they're looking at to poke fun at if it's not at Drake's standard today.
The pick-a-side culture is completely different right now. Like, it's not the simple fact of just him being on the side of Drake or going up against Drake when this whole thing went down. This album's not good. Lazy writing. Too much dependence on features. The production's crisp and clean, but it feels dated. It feels like I'm listening to Teflon Don or some shit. Like, I understand that Ross has a specific lane, and I understand that Rick Ross is about the luxury rap. I get it. I know what Ross does. But this nigga needs to go harder or figure out what else he wants to talk about or something, because right now, this ain't it.
He didn't promote the album well. It don't matter.
you don't think he did? I think he promoted that
What
album.
was the single? The song with him and T.I.?
Minx
Yeah,
in Miami.
The first thing was Minx in Miami.
Minx
and
in
that charted.
Miami. Yeah, that
With
was
Max
like
and
number
French.
one
Yeah, that
on
charted.
radio.
That was a song.
So it was
Then the
that,
T.I.
and
record.
then
And
he
the
did,
The T.I. drank
he did a
mahogany
lot
something.
of
He
like
moved around.
listening sessions and
Yeah.
things. Unfortunately, it was in the midst of Fanatic Fest. So
Yeah.
a lot of people may have missed stuff, but he was here. He went to Miami.
But like even his show in New
Yeah.
York, he was here.
He
It
did
was
the show the same day.
It was
as
night
Shaq.
one of Jay-Z.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Like
you
it's just
wouldn't
bad
know.
timing
You
for a
wouldn't
lot of
know.
that shit for him.
Yeah.
But I respect the fact that he's still going out there promoting his project. He's
Absolutely.
not moving around
He a
other
hustler.
people's schedule and things like that.
26,000, by the way, is not bad at all.
In this
Yeah,
climate,
yeah,
it's
no, hell
not.
no.
It's
They
not
don't
bad
know
at
that
all.
though. They don't
Independent?
know that. They
Yeah.
want to see number one on the charts and 300,000.
I agree with Parks. 26,000 in this climate or whatever he did. I think he did 19K. Was it 19K? 19K in this climate is great because niggas ain't even doing that these days. You get what I'm saying? Newer acts are praying for that much. So I get it. Him being independent and partnering with Gamma, I understand that whole thing too. I felt like I only knew about this album 2 days before it actually dropped. Like, there was no real sense of urgency for me to be able to listen to this album. I didn't even listen to it first week. I listened to it like yesterday. So that's what I'm saying. On top of I sitting up here saying people want to see big number one numbers. Bro, if we're smart music listeners, we know that niggas ain't hitting them heights like that no more unless you are Kendrick, J. Cole, or Drake. They are the big three for a reason. Even in some shape or form, Future as well, which he's been putting out mid also. I'll get to that. But as far as like sitting up here telling us, oh man, you just want to see the numbers, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm a music guy. I'm a quality guy. I'm a person that wants to hear great shit. This album is not to the standard that Rick Ross has set in the past. I looked up the last album that he dropped since he became independent to see if he did anything better than this. It was the Meek Mill collab album, Too Good to Be True. It debuted at number 23. It did 31K its first week in sales. I'm looking at a person who is really putting out an album just for the sake of just putting out music and not necessarily pushing it the correct way or really just giving us something that's quality anymore. Now, I remember when the Meek Mill album dropped, and I got to be real with you, I enjoyed that album. That was the first album he wanted to drop independently, and it had to be a collab because them two niggas hadn't done anything in a long time, so he wanted to prove a point. That 31K number that he did that first week, which I think eventually ended up gradually building up, was great for that. I get it. I think we sit up here and look at it as everything is like casual listeners want this or the niggas on the internet want that. When I see Rick Ross drop an album, I can only expect what he's given us previously, which is great music. Now, as far as everybody saying that he got to diversify all of these things, like, oh, he had to he dropped during Fanatics Fest, or he was promoting in New York while the whole stuff was going on, or he's a businessman outside of that. If he's doing all of these other things, how is it that he can make a 20-track album out of nowhere and get all of these features called in from out of nowhere? He's not too busy to put the album together, so why he's too busy to be able to promote it the right way or understand dates or understand when things are happening? You have a team for that, or at least I think he would have a team for that. My biggest problem with this is a lot of people want to make a lot of excuses for mid-music. We are always making excuses for the major artists and not necessarily holding them accountable for giving us bad product. The flip side of that is Future. Now, for a lot of people who have listened to that new Future, you're either really, really loving this album or you're really hating this album. This is what Future did his first week. Typical Future. He get out here, he get it done. This nigga is sitting up here doing what he always does, right? So, yeah, we should be pleased until you listen to the album. And that shit makes no sense, which is why his second week was this bad. Here's what he did his second week. I listened to the album myself, and let me tell you, I have no idea what this nigga is talking about anymore. I don't know if this nigga wanted to make some avant-garde shit. I don't know if he's on I don't know what Future's on right now. But it ain't, whatever he did with this album ain't it. It's not the quality that I expect. And this is coming off of him having one of the greatest years ever. Remember, his last 3 albums went number 1 in 1 year. That was back in 2024 when he dropped We Don't Trust You, We Still Don't Trust You, and Mixtape Pluto. This is his follow-up album to that year. And this nigga put out this shit. I'm sorry, but we should be expecting more from these artists when they start dropping this type of music. And stop giving these people these excuses of, well, he's a busy man or he has all of these businesses. If you have a lot of shit to do, don't put out music. Get into album mode, block off whatever you need to block off to be able to make quality shit and start making it. Now, I was watching the Third Verse podcast, and they had a nice little observation about why we're not getting the quality music that we expect from these major artists. Listen to what Stat Quo had to say about this.
Somebody said I'm blaming the artists because their projects aren't as good. It's the situations that our lives change, man. My passion is going. If my passion is, if I've always wanted money and I wanted to have money, and that's what I strive to get. Once I get a lot of money, generally most people don't go as hard as they went when they didn't have it. You get what I'm saying? It's a different type of scenario. But those that are more passionate about the art of it, that doesn't change. When Ross did Every Day I'm Hustling, that's a different dude than the guy we got today. It's a different guy. That dude wasn't on private planes. That dude didn't have every girl trying to sleep with him. That dude didn't have multiple properties around the world. Future hadn't sold his catalog. That was when we racks on racks on rack, when Future was on that and doing those songs, that's a different Future than we have today. Future 40 some years old and just been in his success for damn near 2 decades. This nigga been popping. It ain't in everybody to keep maintain that same level of passion. That's why 40-year-old niggas ain't in the NBA. LeBron's still there. It's only certain guys that's gonna be able to do that. I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Is that passion or is that physical limitations?
That both, but with rapping is passion. I'm gonna be honest with you. There's no way I would have been able to maintain for 20 years that level of passion if I achieved the success any of those guys have had. I would have fell off a long time ago, dog.
And I'm at the point now where I'm like, if you're not going to give us quality anymore, get out of the way. Get out of the way. I'm not sitting here saying that they have to give us fucking classics all the time, but I'm saying that they have to start trying. And it can be done. I know everybody's like, well, these niggas over 40. What do you expect? Nigga, Nas is over 40. The Clips are over 40. You get what I'm saying? Jay, here recently, he's over 40. There's a lot of artists out here who are over. Ransom is over 40 and still giving us quality, great pen game, great verses, giving us great songs, great music. It's not the age thing. These niggas have gotten to the point to where like they just want to leech off of their core fans. And that shit is trash to me. A lot of people who are casual listeners just say, fuck it, I'm just going to hit play on it anyway because of the name, instead of just saying, well, what else did they give me to get excited about this album? Why should I play Rick Ross's newest album? What is he doing outside of social media antics that make me want to say, man, I fuck with him? Right? Wait, why aren't we asking these questions and start demanding more from people who have been major artists for... Rick Ross debuted in 2006. 2006. He has been leeching off of us for a while now. Future debuted in what, 2014? 2012? We have artists who are very much set in their ways now. And then they can expect to be able to make their numbers, go off, hit an island, go on vacation, do whatever the fuck they want to do, and we'll be okay with it. I think it's time for us to start pushing new artists, new acts, finding new music. That's the biggest problem that I see with this whole situation. When we see stuff like the freshman class or Rap's new, or when we see the Rap's new class cipher from Gabe P, or what Nala Simone is doing with her curation, we shit on it. We shit on it. We talk bad about these new rappers, and we never adapt to what's going on in music nowadays, and we never want to pull them in and say, this is who I'm listening to now, or this is who we need to be start backing now because they have a really great flow, or they actually got bars, whatever the case may be. Chris Patrick is one of the most talented young rappers out there right now, and a lot of niggas shit on him because they seen him streaming with Casanat. You get what I'm saying? We have a lot of new artists that deserve to get praise, or they deserve to get the push that everybody else has been getting, but we don't do that because we're so worried about these niggas. I'm at the point now where we need to start looking for quality music. We need to start making sure that we're pushing quality music, and we need to find new people to get behind, because Future and Rick Ross are going to continue to do this shit until they're 56 years old, and then we're going to be complaining on the internet about that shit then. I'm just tired of us sitting up here complaining about what music is giving us and not doing anything about it. And I'm tired of major platforms giving out excuses to artists that are well established because they have relationships with them. All of this shit is just fucked up, and I'm kind of done with it. What's your opinion about the new music that we got from Future and Rick Ross? Do we need to start pushing new artists? Do you even know how to find new artists? Whatever you guys have to say, put it in the comments. Before I get out of here, let's have a Cole's Corner with an update on 38 Spesh, Jadakiss, Jim Jones. Now, the last episode you watched, I gave you just a brief description of what happened with 38 Spesh and Jadakiss going back and forth. These two have been having a war words. Things were said, right? Verses were made. This all started from Jadakiss not wanting to give him a verse, right? We go to Summer Jam, and on Summer Jam, 38 Spesh decided to be super disrespectful by freestyling one of his verses from his newest song, Fool's Mate.
Hold up, yo, Jim, I got a bone to pick. That's some whole shit worried about how another nigga clothes fit. With your house on the foreclosed list. You lost your crib in 06, and this nigga still homesick. What I really don't get, you wanna be a street nigga so bad that you got Alpo old bitch, but Poe says she don't blow dick. Poe says she don't blow dick. Man, this nigga talking like a boss, but ain't giving out no jobs. Nigga, you can't even go home and get a blowjob. Before you made cash off rap, what was your job? Jim's story faker than the one fat Joe robbed. And your broad face type valid, without that body work, that bitch would be shaped like Khaled. Better replace them steaks for some late night salads. No matter how much you hate, you can't take my talent. You fucking with a real man with steel hands. I took kilograms and build brands. Got a flow that could fill stands. And the only reason Kiss eating, cause he Fat Joe little mans. And since y'all went and got that hook from Stove Dog, I just might go in the back and hook Stove Dog. Kiss, you'll never be your own boss. And only a bitch-ass nigga record phone calls. Trust.
After that whole thing went around the internet, people got a little bit upset in their feelings. People were saying, oh, that's super disrespectful. Why did you go for his wife? A lot of people felt like, you just can't come back from things like that. There's a bigger picture that you're not looking at, right? People tend to forget that Jim Jones threatened 38 Spesh first. This is what Jim Jones said before this whole verse came out.
I just told my young buck I'm gonna give him a deal if he bites you. You ain't got enough money to talk to me. You're not even allowed to be talking to me in any type of way like that. I'm gonna spare you. You heard your joke to me, but my young boy ain't gonna spare you.
Niggas will walk you down ASAP. Don't get it confused, bro.
Tonight we gonna walk him. Matter of fact, tonight we gonna. I told him I'm gonna give him a deal.
Niggas will walk you down, bro. ASAP. It's already up. Green light is on your fucking mata. We on you, bro. You shitting me?
So now we got this whole thing where people are a little bit upset about what 38 Spesh did, they're going at his wife, so on and so forth. And then 38 Spesh says, I'm going to double down and I'm going to come at Jadakiss again. This time it's money on the table.
And do this the right way. I got a half a ticket on myself. And we could do this in a ring with no crowd because this ain't a popularity contest. 3 judges. We could have G-Rap, Rakim, and Big Daddy Kane as the judges, homie. Ooh. We keep this shit all the way hip-hop.
That's all the way hip-hop.
You understand me? All
I
the way
respect
hip-hop.
that.
So, and that's my offer. I got a half a ticket on my flow. Besides that, we ain't got to speak about it. You put the money up or shut the fuck up. And we just, get back to business. I'm going
to be real with y'all. This nigga's doing the old school New York hip hop play that niggas used to do back in the day, bro. He calling out a nigga who feels like he's better than as far as rapping is concerned, and he's keeping it 100% hip hop. Now, he has never turned this off throughout this whole back and forth with Jada. He hasn't turned it off when it came to Jim Jones and what Jim Jones did, hence why he went so hard on his wife. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's keeping it all the way hip hop, and I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I do want 38 Spesh to get his point across. I do want him to show Jada that, hey, man, it's somebody out here who's just as good, maybe even better than you are. I like that. I like that he's still trying to keep it rap. But when you got to walk around looking over your shoulder, bro, that is not the way. That is old school hip hop. That is back in the 90s type shit. And I want this man to be able to get his point across without having to be feeling like he ain't safe. Now, not taking anything away from his gangster because he's 38 Spesh. He already knows how things work. But I know how niggas' ego can be, and I know how niggas can sometimes feel a certain type of way because you said this or said that. I don't want him to censor himself. I just want him to be very safe about how he's going about this. Because niggas will try you just cause. You get what I'm saying? Just for the reason. And he doesn't deserve to be able to, I've seen rappers die because of this type shit, bro. Hip hop is one of the most dangerous jobs in the world, especially when you start digging into dissing back and forth with people. So my whole thing is this: 38 Spesh, I want you to be able to just walk around and feel good about what's been going on and just have a blast with going back and forth with Jada. I love the fact that he's putting up $500,000 and the judges that he wants and all this other stuff. But is Jada going to do that? Hell no. Jada's not going to step out of character, man, to sit down with this guy who he probably look at as like a nobody, somebody who's independent. He's not worth his time. I wish Jada would, though, just to prove who can really out-rap who. 3 verses, $500,000. I know there's pocket change to some niggas, but shit, why not? Why not go for it? Battle rap rules and everything. Isn't that what the essence of the culture is? Isn't battle rap one of the things that we love so much about the culture? I say if Jada wants to do it, not once, I think Jada should do it. Just to prove a point. Just to show people that he is still that guy. Or just to prove that he can handle whatever comes across his path. He hadn't been challenged in a very long time. Who knows? But that's just my 2 cents about it. Do you think 38 Spesh is overboard with what he's doing, his antics? Do you think he's taking it too far? Whatever you feel, put it down in the comments. That's my time for today, guys. Thank you for joining me for another episode. If you like what I do, because what I do is not very easy, pay me in a like, pay me in a comment, support me with a subscription. Grow my platform as big as the sun. I will catch you guys later on. Take care of yourself. I love you. Peace out.
She just kind of fucking with my money, but I meant everything I said, and I say it again.